What if your heartburn isn't about excess acid, but a sluggish liver? That hidden slowdown fuels bloating and reflux, keeping meals sitting heavy and risking a cycle that won't fix itself. Stay with me for a safe, kitchen-ready path to real relief and a calm, practical solution. If you've been blaming your stomach for every wave of bloat, every sour burp after pizza, or that heavy, slow-motion digestion after a late-night takeout, let me offer a simple reframe. Your stomach is the messenger, but your liver often plays the conductor. I don't say this to be dramatic. I say it because when the liver's daily choreography, producing and sending bile, slows down, the entire digestive orchestra starts missing cues. And that is when swelling around the waist, reflux, and sluggish meals begin to feel normal. Here's what I want for you today: practical clarity and gentle, doable actions that fit real life. Yes, life with morning coffee, school drop-offs, drive-through temptations, and the occasional weekend barbecue. We'll move step by step, staying grounded and respectful of your body. This is educational. It's not a diagnosis or a replacement for your clinician's advice. And because dose and method matter in health, I'll keep reminding you to stay within the amounts I mention and to check in with a professional if you live with conditions like gallstones, ulcers, or if you're pregnant. Let's start with a picture you can hold in your mind. The liver makes bile, a golden-green fluid that helps break down dietary fats into tiny droplets. Think of bile as dish soap for fats. Without it, creamy sauces, mac and cheese, or a cheeseburger stay clumped and stubborn. When bile flows smoothly, the small intestine gets the signal to move, enzymes join the party, and food travels on time. When bile gets thick or late to the table, fats linger. Lingered fats ferment. Fermentation makes gas. Gas pushes upward. Upward pressure nudges stomach contents toward the esophagus. That chain is where a lot of reflux feelings quietly begin. Now, the surprise that helped many of my students. Reflux is not always a case of too much acid. For some people, it's a timing problem. Low or poorly timed stomach acid plus sluggish bile. If the first stage of digestion lacks enough acidity, food sits longer. That extra time encourages gas to build and keeps the gate between esophagus and stomach half closed. It's a mechanical story, not a moral failure, and certainly not a reason for fear. It's a signal to optimize the routine. What nudges bile off rhythm? Everyday North American habits play a role. Sipping iced coffee all afternoon with barely any water concentrates the body's fluids, and bile can thicken like honey in a cold pantry. Constant grazing, chips here, a protein bar there, a few bites of leftovers while standing, confuses the gallbladder's on-off switch. Late, heavy dinners, especially with fried foods or rich cream sauces, mean the night shift works overtime and you wake puffy, tight in your waistband, and not so hungry for breakfast. Let's pivot to small, safe steps that begin to turn the dial. Hydration that actually counts. For every mug of coffee, match it with a glass of water spaced through the morning. I'm not anti-coffee, I'm pro-balance. A gentle bile whisper. Begin your main meal with a small salad that includes naturally bitter greens, arugula or radicchio, dressed with extra virgin olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. Bitters are a nudge, not a shove. A handful is plenty. Timing beats perfection. Aim for 3 structured meals and give your digestive system real breaks between them. That pause is when the gallbladder refills and resets. A walk you can keep, 10 minutes after meals, around the block, down the hallway, or through a grocery aisle, can help the whole system move without strain. If you're thinking, this sounds almost too simple, that's exactly the point. Your body likes rhythm. When bile flows and stomach acid shows up on time, the sensation of swelling softens, reflux episodes become less frequent, and digestion stops feeling like a full-time job. You do not need extreme rules, you need consistent cues. And remember, if you have diagnosed conditions or take regular medication, personalize these ideas with your healthcare provider. I promised practical guidance, and I'll keep delivering it. A little later, I'll also share a pantry-friendly booster, a safe, inexpensive add-on drawn from everyday ingredients that many people find amplifies these results. It's not a miracle, Just smart physiology meeting kitchen common sense. But before we get there, we'll build the foundation. How the liver, bile, stomach, and intestines actually talk to one another, and how everyday choices, from sweetened coffee creamers to all-you-can-eat wings, change the conversation in predictable ways. Take a breath and picture this as a friendly reset, not a punishment. Swap ranch dressing for a simple vinaigrette on that starter salad, bring a refillable water bottle to your desk, and plan a short walk after dinner, even if the couch is calling. These small acts create momentum. Your body notices, and over days, it thanks you in ways you can feel. Less tightness under the ribs, fewer late-night acid flares, and mornings that begin without that heavy, stuck feeling. Before we move on, a quick note on safety. Any herbal additions or concentrated bitters should be introduced gradually, in food form first, within modest amounts. If you feel discomfort, pull back. Health is not a race, it's a careful conversation with your own biology. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results, it can also bring unnecessary side effects. That is an informational reminder, so you stay safe and get the most from your efforts. A minute ago, we reframed those uncomfortable symptoms, not as a personal flaw or a forever label, but as a coordination issue. Now let's switch on the lights and trace the path your food takes from plate to energy, focusing on the players that decide whether you feel light and calm or puffed up and sour. Start with the liver. It's your quiet chemist, constantly making bile. That bile is stored and concentrated in a small pouch on the underside of the liver called the gallbladder, your on-demand dispenser. When you eat, cells in the small intestine release a hormone signal. You can think of it as a text message that tells the gallbladder to squeeze. Bile enters the small intestine right when fats arrive, emulsifying them into tiny droplets so digestive enzymes can reach every surface. This chemistry lesson has a simple outcome. Well-timed bile equals smooth digestion and a comfortable abdomen. When timing slips, the dominoes fall. Thickened, slow bile, sometimes called sludgy in casual conversation, doesn't coat fats thoroughly. Those fats then travel awkwardly, inviting fermentation and gas. Gas raises pressure in the stomach area, and that pressure can push contents upward, especially if you've eaten a big, late meal or reclined right after. Pair that with a stomach that's not acidic enough at the start of the meal, common after long stretches of grazing on snacks or relying on very sweet beverages. And you've got a perfect setup for reflux sensations and a meal that feels parked under the ribs for hours. What everyday choices nudge things off track? Picture a typical North American weekday: iced latte on the commute, a granola bar at the desk, a handful of chips while scrolling, then a large, rich dinner with creamy sauce and garlic bread. There's nothing evil here. It's just a rhythm that keeps the gallbladder half awake all day, then dumps a mountain of work on it at night. Add low water intake, the kind that happens when coffee and soda replace water, and bile can get concentrated enough to flow more reluctantly. Your body is adaptable, but it appreciates clear signals: mealtime, space, hydration, movement. Let's translate that into actions you can start today. Structure your meals. Aim for clear meal times with genuine breaks between them. This isn't about restriction. It's about letting the gallbladder refill so it can deliver a strong, coordinated squeeze when it's actually needed. Hydrate intentionally. Keep a water bottle within reach and pair every caffeinated drink with water. Even 2 or 3 well-timed glasses across the morning make a noticeable difference for many people. Lead with gentle bitters in food form. A small starter, arugula, radicchio, or even a few olives, signals the digestive tract that real food is coming. Dress it simply with extra virgin olive oil and lemon. If you typically reach for ranch or a heavy, creamy dressing, try a quick vinaigrette this week. It's a friendly swap, not a lifetime contract. Create a pre-meal ritual your body recognizes. I like a 3-2-1 flow. 3 slow breaths to downshift stress, 2 small sips of warm water, 1 minute of pause before your first bite. It's amazing how much smoother digestion feels when the nervous system gets a moment to settle. Walk it in. 10 minutes of easy walking after meals is a classic habit across cultures. It helps motility without demanding willpower. Around the block, through the mall, or up and down your hallway, Whatever is available counts. You may be wondering about stomach acid here. It's important, and it's not the villain. Adequate acidity helps the valve between the esophagus and stomach close properly and signals downstream steps. But this isn't a call to self-medicate with acidic drinks or supplements. For some people, added acidity worsens symptoms. Food first, gentle strategies are safer starting points. And if you live with diagnosed acid-related conditions, work with your clinician. Your plan should be personalized. What about the sense of swelling or puffiness around the midsection? When food lingers, your gut has more time to pull water into the mix and more opportunity for microbes to ferment leftovers. The result feels like a waistband that shrank by dinner. Improving bile flow and spacing meals often reduces that sensation naturally because transit speeds up and less residue remains to be fermented. If you like checklists, here's a simple one for the next 7 days. Water. Pour a glass right after you brew your morning coffee and actually finish it. Starter. Add a small bitter green salad before your main meal. Timing. Set informal meal windows and close the kitchen between them. Movement. Schedule a 10-minute post-meal walk on your calendar like any appointment. Swap. Trade one creamy dressing this week for a quick oil and lemon vinaigrette. A final word on safety and success. Your results come from steady cues, not heroic doses. If you experiment with new foods, start small, notice your body's feedback, and adjust. If you use medications or have gallbladder disease, ulcers, or you're pregnant, keep your healthcare provider in the loop before trying bitters or concentrated herbal preparations. We're building resilience, not chasing shortcuts. In a little while, I'll share a simple, pantry-friendly way to reinforce everything you're practicing. One thoughtful preparation that many people find both soothing and effective when used appropriately. For now, hold on to the idea that digestion prefers rhythm over drama. Small signals add up. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results, it can also bring unnecessary side effects. That is an informational reminder so you stay safe and get the most from your efforts. Rhythm beats restriction. That was our pivot a moment ago. When bile arrives on time and the stomach cues are clear, the whole system hums. So why does it drift offbeat again and again in regular life? The answer isn't one villain. It's a handful of quiet saboteurs that hide in plain sight. The good news, each one can be softened with small, realistic changes you can start today. Begin with stealth dehydration. Many of us sip iced coffee on the commute, enjoy a mid-morning latte, and coast into the afternoon with soda or energy drinks. Water never quite happens. Your body is resilient, but less water means thicker body fluids, and bile can behave like syrup in a chilled bottle, slower to pour, slower to coat fats. Fix this with a simple pairing rule. Every caffeinated drink earns a glass of water, spaced during the next hour. Add a refillable bottle to your desk and aim to finish it by lunch. You don't need a gallon challenge, you need consistency. Next is all-day grazing. A few pretzels at 10, a protein bar at noon, half a muffin at 2, a handful of fries on the drive home. None feels like a meal, but together they keep the gallbladder in permanent maybe. It can't fill fully, so it can't squeeze decisively. Give your body clear punctuation. 3 grounded meals, modest snacks only when truly needed, and real pauses between. That pause is a reset button for bile. Late, heavy dinners are another nudge in the wrong direction. A plate of wings, mac and cheese, and garlic bread at 9 p.m. burdens the night shift. Then we recline, pressure rises, and reflux pays a visit. Try a practical boundary. Finish dinner 2 to 3 hours before bed most nights. Keep it lighter when it's late, and let leftovers become tomorrow's lunch instead of tonight's extra course. Fat quality matters, not because one oil is bad and another is magic, but because the whole package, fat plus fiber plus timing, changes how you feel. Many North American staples are rich and low fiber. Creamy dressings, deep-fried sides, donuts with sweet coffee. If that sounds familiar, build contrast into your day. Extra virgin olive oil on a small bitter green salad, avocado on whole grain toast, a handful of nuts paired with an apple, beans folded into a taco bowl. Fiber helps carry bile metabolites out of the body and gives the intestines something to grip, which often translates into less gas and less heaviness. Then there's the sweetened beverage loop. High sugar drinks and frequent refills keep insulin and appetite signaling busy, blur mealtime boundaries, and crowd out water. Switch just one soda or sweet tea for sparkling water with a citrus splash. Keep it friendly, not absolute. Progress beats perfection. Movement might be the most underrated lever. Digestion prefers circulation and gentle abdominal motion. You do not need an intense workout, you need frequent, kind movement. Try 10 minutes after your biggest meals. Walk the dog, loop the block, wander a grocery aisle, pace on a call. If you sit long hours, put a tiny timer on your desk to stand each hour, roll your shoulders, and take 5 slow breaths. That small reset can lower abdominal pressure and stress, both of which help reflux. Stress itself is a potent saboteur. When life feels like a sprint, your nervous system prioritizes survival, not digestion. Meal cues go quiet. Reintroduce them with a 1-minute ritual. Exhale longer than you inhale, 3 to 5 times before you eat. Add a sensory anchor, smell lemon zest or the vinaigrette on your salad. That tiny pause flips your body from go, go, go to receive and digest. Rapid weight changes can also unsettle bile flow. Very fast loss, especially with extremely low-fat phases, can make you feel more, not less, uncomfortable after meals. Choose steadier changes and ensure each day has some healthy fats and enough fiber. Think salmon over greens, olive oil on vegetables, nuts or seeds on oatmeal. A practical word on medications and conditions. Some drugs can influence bile flow or the tone of the valve between the stomach and esophagus. If you take regular prescriptions or have gallbladder disease, ulcers, or you're pregnant, keep your clinician in the loop before trying concentrated bitters or making big diet changes. Education here is meant to help you ask better questions and apply gentle habits, not to replace professional care. Let's turn these ideas into a week you can actually live. Put a full glass of water next to your coffee maker tonight, so morning you can't miss it. Pack a small salad starter, arugula, radicchio, olives, with a simple olive oil and lemon dressing. Keep it in the front of the fridge. Draw a soft line under the evening meal. Kitchen light off 2 hours before bed. Swap one creamy dressing for oil and vinegar at a diner or fast casual spot. Set a 10-minute walk alarm after lunch on your phone. Treat it like a meeting. Carry a small container of nuts to avoid the not-a-meal snack spiral. As these saboteurs lose their grip, swelling eases, reflux quiets, and meals move along more reliably. You're not chasing hacks. You're restoring rhythm with cues your body understands. Keep the tone kind, observe what changes for you, and adjust the dials with patience. Practical, repeatable, safe. That's the path that lasts. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results. It can also bring unnecessary side effects. That is an informational reminder so you stay safe and get the most from your efforts. You've started to give your body clear, respectful cues. Meals with pauses, water that actually happens, a little movement after eating. Now it's time to make the invisible visible. Your body broadcasts useful signals all day long. When you know how to read them, you can steer with confidence and avoid overcorrecting. Begin with 2 sensations that often puzzle people. Heaviness under the ribs after rich foods and air rising as small burps after pizza or creamy pasta. Neither makes you broken. Both are feedback. If bile doesn't arrive promptly, fats linger, and the stomach may hold on to food longer. Gas builds, pressure rises, and the valve between the esophagus and stomach is more likely to crack open. That doesn't mean you must eliminate comfort foods forever. It means you can adjust timing, portion, and the starter signals so the same meal lands differently next time. Next, observe the daily waistband story. In the morning, most people feel relatively flat. By evening, there's often some expansion. Large swings are your hint to examine meal size, spacing, and fiber. You can track this gently. Measure the navel area first thing and again before bed for 3 days. No judgment, just numbers. Many viewers are surprised how much a simple bitter green starter and a short walk shrink that gap within a week. Stool appearance also speaks, and we can discuss it without drama. The Bristol stool chart is a simple, widely used guide. Types 3 to 4 generally signal comfortable transit for many people. Greasy residue that leaves a sheen in the water or very pale stools can indicate poor fat handling. That's not a diagnosis. It's a nudge to support bile flow and to check with your clinician if it persists, especially if you notice yellowing of the eyes or severe pain, signs that deserve personalized care. For everyday tuning, prioritize fiber, beans, oats, berries, vegetables, steady hydration, and the olive oil and lemon salad you've heard me recommend. Now a safe, food-first reflex check you can try at home. Right before your main meal, chew a few leaves of arugula or a thin strip of lemon peel. Avoid the bitter white pith in large amounts. Don't swallow immediately. Just chew and notice. Within seconds, most people feel a surge of saliva and a gentle wake up in the upper abdomen. That's your digestive system responding to natural bitters, the same reflex that helps coordinate bile release and stomach readiness. This is a nudge, not a test of toughness. A small handful is plenty. If you live with gastritis, ulcers, gallbladder disease, or you're pregnant, customize with your healthcare provider before using bitter herbs. Food-level bitters in small amounts are a safer starting point for most. Here's another simple cue. Posture. Slumping after meals compresses the abdomen and can make reflux more likely. Sit tall for a few minutes after you finish eating, or take your plate to the patio and stay upright while chatting. A 10-minute walk is even better, especially if evenings tend to be your reflux window. Stress signals are worth watching too. If you eat in a rush or while distracted, digestion often feels rougher. Try a 1-minute downshift. Inhale quietly through the nose. Exhale just a bit longer than your inhale. Repeat 5 times. Pair that with the aroma of your vinaigrette or a quick look at your food's colors. You're telling your body, it's safe to digest now. That message matters more than people realize. To pull this together, create a friendly 7-day digestive journal. Keep it low effort, rough meal times, what you ate, any symptoms, bloat, burning, heaviness, water intake, and movement. Add 2 optional observations, a morning-evening waist measurement and a quick note on stool type using the Bristol numbers. Patterns jump out quickly. Maybe late-night pizza is only a problem on the couch, not after a stroll. Maybe sweet coffee drinks at 3 p.m. predict dinner reflux. With patterns visible, you adjust inputs rather than guessing. Let's keep safety front and center. If you choose to explore herbal bitters beyond food, start low and go slow, and involve your clinician if you take medications, especially blood thinners, or have known gallbladder issues or ulcers. Food-first strategies are the gentlest on-ramp. And if you encounter red flag signs like persistent pale stools, jaundice, fever, or severe abdominal pain, pause the experiments and seek medical guidance. Education empowers you to act early and appropriately. Action list for this week. Chew a small portion of bitter greens before your main meal. Notice saliva and belly wake up. Swap a creamy dressing for extra virgin olive oil and lemon on at least 1 salad. Pair every caffeinated drink with a glass of water within the hour. Schedule a 10-minute after-dinner walk, invite a friend, or put on a podcast. Track your 3-day waistband story and 2 Bristol numbers. Adjust 1 variable at a time. As you listen to these signals with curiosity, not fear, the fog lifts. Reflux and bloating stop feeling like random punishments and start behaving like predictable outcomes you can influence. That's the turning point. You become the investigator and the caretaker in your own routine, responding to what your body is telling you with clear, kind actions. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results. It can also bring unnecessary side effects. That is an informational reminder so you stay safe and get the most from your efforts. You've been paying attention, tracking the waistband story, noticing how a small salad starter or a short walk changes the way a meal lands. Let's turn those observations into a plan you can actually live with across a busy North American week. This isn't about extremes. It's about setting cues that your liver and gallbladder can recognize every day so bile arrives on time, reflux quiets down, and digestion stops stealing your energy. Start with hydration that respects your reality. Coffee happens. Iced lattes happen. energy drinks sometimes happen. Instead of pretending they don't, pair each caffeinated drink with a full glass of water in the next hour. Put the glass where you can't miss it, next to the coffee maker, on your desk, in the cup holder. Aim for steady sips, not chugging. Your body prefers a reliable stream. If plain water feels boring, add a slice of lemon or a sprig of mint. Gentle flavor, no heavy acidity. This small pairing alone helps thin bile just enough to flow without fuss. Now give your digestive system a clear on signal before the main meal. Food-first bitters are the safest way to do this. Chew a small handful of arugula or radicchio, or enjoy a few olives dressed with extra virgin olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. Keep it modest. The goal is to nudge, not overwhelm. If your routine is ranch dressing on everything, try a simple oil and lemon vinaigrette a few times this week. That swap pulls you toward fiber-rich greens and away from heavy, creamy sauces that can linger. Build structure around mealtimes. Your gallbladder can't fill well if it's teased all day by tiny snacks. Choose 3 anchored meals that fit your schedule and allow comfortable gaps between them. If you truly need a snack, make it purposeful. A piece of fruit with a handful of nuts, yogurt with raspberries, or hummus with vegetables. Clear punctuation gives the gallbladder time to refill. A decisive squeeze is much more comfortable than a half-hearted drizzle. Add a short, reliable movement ritual. 10 minutes after meals is enough. Walk the dog, pace on a call, loop the block. Movement does 2 things that matter for reflux and bloat. It keeps abdominal pressure from building while you're still digesting, and it helps move food along so fermentation doesn't get a head start. If evenings are your reflux window, be especially kind to future you and take that after-dinner walk. Let's talk portions and timing without judgment. Late, heavy dinners are common. If dinner has to be late, shrink the richness. Choose grilled instead of fried, save cream-based sauces for earlier in the day, split that dessert. And let your body have 2 to 3 hours upright before bed. Small changes here make a big difference because gravity is on your side. Make fiber your quiet ally. Beans in a taco bowl, an apple with peanut butter, oatmeal with chia seeds, roasted vegetables with olive oil. These aren't trendy. They're practical. Fiber gives the intestine something to grip, helps carry bile metabolites out of the body, and reduces the residue left to ferment. If you've been very low on fiber, increase gradually and keep water steady to avoid extra gas at first. Because customization keeps people safe, consider a gentle, bitter ladder. Start with food-level bitters, greens, lemon zest in a dressing. If that goes well for a week or 2, some people explore mild teas made from kitchen herbs. Keep doses small, listen to your body, and loop in your clinician if you have gallbladder disease, ulcers, are pregnant, or take medications like blood thinners. Education here is meant to help you collaborate with your care team, not replace them. Here's a 7-day blueprint you can copy-paste into your week. Morning, water first, then coffee. Finish 1 full glass before leaving home. Breakfast that includes fiber and a little healthy fat, oatmeal with chia and berries, or eggs with sautéed greens. Midday, a small bitter green starter dressed with olive oil and lemon. Pause for 3 slow breaths before the first bite. Eat the main meal seated, if possible. Afternoon, if you want caffeine, pair it with water. If hunger shows up, choose a purposeful snack over grazing. Evening, choose a lighter dinner on late nights. Keep a 10-minute walk non-negotiable. Kitchen lights off 2 hours before bed as a friendly boundary. All week, plan 2 effortless fiber boosts, beans added to 1 meal and a fruit and nut pairing once a day. As these pieces settle into place, you'll likely notice reduced swelling by evening, fewer acidic flares after rich meals, and a calmer, more predictable digestion. That's not magic. That's physiology responding to consistent cues. Keep it patient, keep it kind, and keep it personal. Your journal from earlier is still valuable. Use it to adjust portions, spacing, or your salad starter size. A final word on safety and expectations. More is not better with bitters or acidic ingredients. Stay with modest, food-level amounts. If discomfort appears, step back. If you live with conditions like gallstones, ulcers, or you're pregnant, or you take regular medications, ask your clinician how to adapt these ideas. Education gives you tools. A professional helps tailor them. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results. It can also bring unnecessary side effects. That is an informational reminder so you stay safe and get the most from your efforts. You've built rhythm, water that actually happens, genuine meal times with breathing space, a small bitter green starter, and 10 patient minutes of movement after eating. Now it's time to introduce a simple preparation that many people find helpful when used appropriately. A gentle, food-first bitter tonic designed to cue bile without aggression. This is not a miracle. It's a modest nudge layered onto habits that already support you. Keep it within the amounts I share and involve your clinician if you have gallbladder disease, ulcers, are pregnant, or take medications such as blood thinners. The goal is comfort and function, not extremes. Here's the approach. Think of the tonic as a pre-meal invitation to your digestive system. It pairs kitchen-friendly herbs with warm water to warm the stomach, signal gentle bile release, and prepare the small intestine for fats. The ingredients are common and the method is straightforward because consistency beats complexity. Ingredients for 1 cup: 1 teaspoon of dried dandelion root, or a tea bag of dandelion from a reputable brand, 1 thin coin of fresh ginger, about the size of a nickel, and a thin strip of lemon peel without the bitter white pith. Use about 8 ounces, 250 milliliters of just off-the-boil water. Preparation: bring water to a boil, turn off the heat, add the dandelion root, ginger, and lemon peel. Cover and steep for 8 to 10 minutes. Strain into a mug. The cover matters. It keeps the aromatic compounds from escaping, so the cup is effective without being strong. How to use it: sip the cup 20 to 30 minutes before your main meal, 5 days a week, for 2 to 3 weeks. Start with half a cup if your stomach is sensitive. You're looking for a sense of warmth and a slight awakening under the ribs, not burning or sourness. If any discomfort appears, reduce the steeping time, decrease the ingredients by half, or pause and return to food-only strategies. Why these ingredients? Dandelion root has a long culinary herbal history as a gentle bitter ginger brings warmth and can settle the stomach, and lemon peel delivers aromatic bitters without much acidity when you avoid the white pith. This trio supports the same reflex you've already felt when chewing arugula or tasting a simple vinaigrette, now in a cup that's easy to repeat. Safety guardrails keep this preparation friendly. Skip the tonic if you have known gallstones or bile duct obstruction, active ulcers, a history of allergy to plants in the daisy family, or if you're pregnant unless cleared by your clinician. Do not combine with concentrated herbal extracts without professional guidance. Food-level approaches are kinder starting points. And remember, this is educational guidance. Your clinician personalizes it to you. Now for the pantry-friendly bonus many viewers enjoy, especially when salads are on the menu. Take a small citrus zester and add a pinch of lemon zest directly over your salad starter, then drizzle a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil per serving. The zest concentrates aromatic bitters present in the outer skin, while the olive oil supports the gallbladder's coordinated squeeze. This pairing often makes the starter more satisfying and seems to amplify the pre-meal wake-up you're already cultivating, without leaning on acidity. If you tolerate dilute acidity comfortably, there's an optional variation that some people find pleasant. Stir 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar into a full cup, about 200 milliliters, of warm water, and sip slowly 15 to 20 minutes before a meal. This is very individual. If your reflux worsens with acidic drinks, skip this entirely. Food-first bitters remain the gentlest on-ramp. To help you implement this without overthinking, here's a calm 3-week outline. Week 1. Keep the habits you've built and add the citrus and olive oil salad starter to 1 meal per day. Notice saliva, warmth, and meal satisfaction. Week 2. Prepare the gentle bitter tonic before your main meal on 5 days. Start with half cups if you're sensitive. Keep evening walks steady. Week 3. Decide what's sustainable. Some people keep the tonic 3 days a week. Others stick with the salad starter alone. Your journal from earlier helps you spot what changes. Fewer late-night flares, less evening tightness, more regular mornings. Measurable cues that you're on track include a smaller morning to evening waist difference, a feeling of steady energy after meals, and less need to unbutton your pants by 8 p.m. None of this requires perfection. It requires repeating safe, gentle cues. If you ever encounter red flag symptoms like persistent pale stools, yellowing of the eyes, fever, or severe pain, step back and seek medical guidance promptly. Those are signals for personalized care. I want to leave you with encouragement and agency. You've taken this step not to pursue quick fixes, but to understand how your body works and how to cooperate with it. Knowledge used kindly is powerful. Keep what's working, adjust what isn't, and let your routine feel human. Coffee in the morning, a walk with a friend after dinner, simple meals dressed with olive oil and lemon. These are ordinary acts with uncommon impact when you repeat them. If this guidance has helped you connect the dots between liver function, reflux, and slow digestion, share it with someone who could use a calmer plan. Comment with what you're trying this week, and subscribe so we can keep building practical, responsible health education together. Your participation helps this community thrive and brings more people into evidence-informed, kitchen-friendly habits. The next tip is one of the most important. Ignoring it won't just limit your results. It can also bring unnecessary side effects. That is an informational reminder so you stay safe and get the most from your efforts.